Why, hello there, my fine people. My name is Reece, cool guy, but you be so kind to call me by the preschool guy. In reality, my age would be roughly 28, but with my current state that I am right now, really at heart, I'm just 2.5 years old. Oh, isn't that delightful? Oh, crumpets and all that. Oh, sorry, I think I had something inside of me that, was wanting to call out. Like my native tongue, as it were, but what can you do? We all like funny voices, don't we? Mainly for comedy, because you need a little laugh to forget about all the horrid things in the world, and comedy really helps with that, especially when you do funny voices. Whether you believe that you do the funny voices and add character to add emotion to make it more relatable as well as funny, or just do the funny voices just because it sounds silly, right? Either way, it's great to do it, and with the internet, there's just all sorts of translations that you can type in there, whatever you want to, and just do the voices yourself, just for comedy. Even if it's stupid, it's still great to do. And 2016, I have to admit, has not been a great year, with Brexit, Trump, all these great people gone. But I feel like since it's coming up to the new year, 2017, sorry to date the episode, I thought I'd just do this fun little episode, grab a bunch of translations, put them in British children's programming, and just have a laugh at all the funny translations that we can come up with. So, as we go into 2017, the new year, it's only fitting that I have a drink to that. Oh, that's good controversy right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, I do have a couple of examples I'm going to use for the episode right here just to have fun with it. So, I guess we'll just go right into it then. There's a couple of stories in there, a couple of songs. Just have a good old time, forget about all the troubles in the world. And seeing as how it's one of the first things that I grew up with in my childhood, it's only fitting that I re-narrate an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine in Ebonics. Yo, Diesel, that new engine was sulking. That trucks will not stop singing rudely at him. Doc was horrified. Shut up, he ordered, and bump him hard. I'm sorry our trucks was rude to ya, Diesel. Diesel was still furious. It's all your fault. You made them laugh at me. Nonsense, said Henry. Doc would never do that. We's engine. See, you're having a good laugh already. Well, at least I am. Doc would never do that. We engines. I can't get past We's engines. We's engines may have a difference. Oh no, we got some differences. Shit. Calm blue ocean. Calm blue ocean. We's engines may got some differences. There we go. But We's never tells them to the trucks. That would be disgraceful, said Gordon. Disgusting, added James. Despicable, finished Henry. Diesel hated Doc. He wanted him to be sent away, so he made the plan. Next day, he spoke to the trucks. I see you likes making jokes. You made a tight joke? What? Don't tell Gordon I told you. And he sniggered away. Good thing there was an S in front of that. Okay. They consulted with one another. Yeah, they said. He did it to us. We'll do it to him and see how he likes it. The three engines barred his way. Oh, I almost threw up. We's is tired of you. We's like Diesel, but we's don't like you. You tell tales about us to the trucks. I don't, you do. I don't, you do. The Fat Controller came to stop the noise. Duck called me a galloping sausage, spluttered Gordon. Rusty what? Rusty red shit iron? Hissed James? What? Well, Duck considered. I'm not saying that, I'm just, okay. I only wish, N-word, he said gravely, that I thought of those names myself, if the dome fits. Did you, Duck? Certainly not, N-word. Nasty mentions would be as mean as that, y'all. I do apologize. I didn't mean to be offensive. Well, Diesel, you heard what Duck said. I can't dig it, N-word. I can't dig it, N-word. To think that Duck all engines. I be dreadly grieved, N-word. But no nothing. But no nothing. I'm sorry, N-word, but you must go to Edward Station for a while. I know he'll be glad to see you. As you wish, N-word. Duck trundled sadly away, while Diesel smirked with trying. Brace yourself, yo. I'm not kidding, it says brace yourself, fool. I'm sorry. How did it not show up before? That calls for another shot. Woo! Whoa, having fun now, aren't we? There'll be plenty of time for story time later, but I just want to go for a few songs just to like break the ice a little bit, catch our breaths and what have you. So, have y'all wanted to hear the Postman Pat theme, that delightful little innocent tune that you've experienced since long your childhood as the Swedish chef? Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his blanket for the kid. Born. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he packs your balls and boots. It's fun, y'all. Oh, she moves her singing, and she does two spaghetti. Port feels he's a very happy man. My man. You can never be sure. Sylvia Duck, ring, not just for your door. Booby, booby, boo, boo, boo. Postman Pat, let's back and working. Boards over singing. Bunch of days, towards beginning. Pat Bill, he's a really happy man. Pat Bill, he's a really happy man. Pat Bill, he's a really happy. Next song, here we go. Joining the Wheaties theme. It only makes sense for the older people in the audience to kind of get this, but what if I sung this jolly song as a pirate? Jump in, we'll take you for a spin, show you around the wheelie world, and hoist the man's sails. Hop into his fun, come along and take a look at wheelie world at fast. You'll be surprised how good it feels to zoom around in the world so merry with me. You don't need a ticket, cause we'll get on you for free. You kill all you are. And if you see the witch vanilla, don't be worried, cause there's no cause for alarm. And hoist the mad sails, ha ha, I won't ye, ha ha ha. Cause we got Cholton, who's a dragon, and he'll keep ye from harm. Yo ho, and hoist the man's sails, ho ho ho, with a chest full of booty, yo ho ho ho. It's fun at any time of year, so put your wheels in second gear, and then hold tight. Alright, we'll show you all the sights of wheelie world. I really should have put the episode of Rhubarb and Custard where Rhubarb was a pirate, and put that into the pirate translator. See if that's actually accurate. I'm a fudging idiot. But who cares about all that? Since we've recovered, it's time for another swig. And another edition of Story Time. So, we all like the Mr. Men. Who doesn't know the Mr. Men? They're around the world, no less. Not just in good old Blighty. So, it's only going to make sense that I take one of their stories, Mr. Grumpy as it were, and have fun with this story. But what have I, what kind of translator have I put this story in, eh? Oh, wow, good sir. Not just Cockney, because, you know, it makes sense that I have to go somewhere along my native tongue, but Cockney Rhyme. This is gonna sound stupid. When day's dawning, Mr. Grumpy was out in his garden pouring the April showers. He couldn't stand pretty April showers growing in his garden. But out of the bloody Jonah Horner of his mince pie, he's bare poor figure. It was Mr. Happy. Good day's dawning, said Mr. Happy. Good, said Mr. Grumpy. What's Robin Hood about it? But, said Mr. Happy. But nothing, went on Mr. Grumpy. Get out of me garden. I beg your pardon, said Mr. Happy. You heard me, snapped Mr. Grumpy. Go away. I say, laughed Mr. Happy. You're sorry and sad-tempered ice cream freezer. You're a bad-tempered fellow, tricks out to that. You're sorry and sad-tempered ice cream freezer. Humph, grumped Mr. Grumpy. I agree. Cockneys speak like that in rhyme? And went on Mr. Happy, bad-tempered fellows need the Pope in Rome on the chumping range they'll waste. Rubbish, retorted Mr. Grumpy, and went hammer and tack into his cottage. A livery stamping on Mr. Happy's foot as he passed him. Oh, said Mr. Happy. Bang went the Dorothy Lamore of Crossbag Cottage, as Mr. Grumpy slammed it behind him. Mr. Happy stood there, not feeling as happy as he usually does. His foot hurt. He thought and thought and thought some more. Then he had an idea. He smiled and went to clock Mr. Tickle. Clock? You mean like check the time? Mr. Happy told Mr. Tickle of his idea of how to get Mr. Grumpy to Pope and Rome on the range's ways. And Mr. Tickle grinned a sort of grin that goes from ear to ear. That is, if you have Britney Spears. Which he don't. Oh, he grinned, rubbing the German band at the end of his extraordinarily long arms of his together. That sounds fan. Later that afternoon, Mr. Grumpy went into Joe What? Mr. Grumpy went into Joe Brand shopping. Anybody in the comments know who Joe Brand is? He walked into Mr. Meat's lollipop. Mr. Meat was a butcher. Give me some sausages, snapped Mr. Grumpy, and be quits about it. Poor Mr. Meat, who was frightened of Mr. Grumpy, did as he was told. But as he was doing as he was told, someone appeared through his lollipop doorway. Do you know what it was? It was an extraordinarily long chalk farm belonging to heaven and hell. You can guess who it belonged to, can't ya? That extraordinarily long chalk farm of Mr. Tickles came in through the door of the moor, across the lollipop, up to Mr. Grumpy, and tickled him. Ah! Screamed Mr. Grumpy in alarm, dropping his sausages, checking round to clock what happened. That one caught me off guard. Grunted Mr. Grumpy, picking up his sausages, and went next door for Lamore to the Sexton Blake lollipop? What? He just went down to the cake shop. What's this about Sexton Blake lollipops? Why hasn't that been sold in England yet? I would love to suck on a Saxon Blake. Don't take context, please. Crash went the Dorothy Lamour of the lollipop. Give me a Saxon Blake. Oh, because it's rhyming cake. Oh. Cockneys are weird. So yes, give me a Saxon Blake. Snap Mr. Grumpy and hurry up. Pour love and kisses fairy? Is it because love and kisses rhyme with Miss... What? But as she was doing as she was told, guess what happened? Ah! Squeaked Mr. Grumpy, dropping his Saxon Blake and his sausages. He just could not understand what was happening. And the same thing happened to Mr. Daly's linen draper lollipop. And loving the kisses, Humbug's sweet lollipop, and Mr. Bottle's dairy, and Mr. Packer's grocer's lollipop. England, have you been making strange and unique lollipop flavors behind my back? Unbelievable. Hello, grinned Mr. Happy. Are you having a sugar and spice day? Get out of me way, snapped Mr. Grumpy. Before I kick you! Before I kick you, I'm sorry. But almost before the dicky birds had passed his PG tips. This is not sponsored ad, I swear. PG tips. Do you still have the monkey in your advertising? I hope so. Because I need a cuppa after that. The extraordinary long chalk farm and Mr. Tickles had appeared from behind a tree and tickled him yet again. He jumped from the air and dropped all his shopping yet again and fell over. Mr. Happy looked down and Mr. Grumpy lying in a pile of sausages and cakes and newspapers and sweets and acker bilk and cornflakes. What's an acker bilk? I think, he laughed, that if you were to pope and roam in the range your ways, and not quite be so sorry and sad-tempered quite so often, this sort of thing might not happen to you quite so often. Humph, grunted Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Happy and Mr. Tickle laughed and shook German bands. Ramstein. Kerplunk, the other one. You shook hands to make the ultimate super German band? You better. Mr. Grumpy did try not to be quite so sorry and sad-tempered, quite so often. The more he tried, the less he found he was tickled. So he tried more and more. And these days, he's quite a changed heap of coke. Heap of coke? Person? What? Why, only the other evening, he picked up a jackdaw. I'm insulted for our species right now. And a jackdaw and rook. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still confused about what that is. And you know what? He only tore out one page. That was exhausting. I need a break. I need to recover from what Cockneys believe are rhymes, slangs, and shit. I just want to move on to some songs, okay? Just get that load off my foot. Here we go. Anyone remember the Family Nest? You don't remember any of the episodes? You just remember that really catchy tune that, you know, should be a hit single, but it's not? Well, allow me to sing it to you as Yoda. Knock it, you can. Rock it, you can. Go to Timbuktu, you can. But never find a Nessie in the zoo, you will. See an anaconda, a giraffe and a kangaroo you may. But never see a Nessie in the zoo, you will. You know what, that was kind of short. Let me do another song here. Everyone remembers the trapdoor, right? That was unique. It was! I'm not being sarcastic. I'm sorry, I had a drink. What do you want from me? But you know the song that is played is the theme song, you know, all catchy in the 80s and just really nostalgic. What if you took that, all those really bizarre lyrics, and you read it as if it was rewritten by Shakespeare? Creepy, crawly, slimy thing, yon sticketh on thy skin. Horrid things with tentacles, yon wanteth to pulleth thee in. Slimy worms, slugs and snails, yon forswear there in a goo. Thou waiteth down there forever, until those gents receiveth their hands on thee. Thee not ope yon trap of door. Art thou a blinking idiot? If it be true thee dareth, stay of hence from yon trap of door, 'cause there's something down there. Best work since Macbeth. I want the awards now. I'll take them on Shakespeare's behalf. Please, please. The Snowman. Oh, The Snowman. That was a classic. I remember doing that riff for the show, and Joe joking aside, it really is a classic cartoon, even to this day, of how mesmerizing the animation is. Well, I just figured, since it is after Christmas and we're still feeling all that goodness that this time of year can bring, I'm gonna translate the movie out here for you today. Here goes. I mean, what am I That was a depressing way to end this thing. What a load of nonsense, but I hope you guys enjoyed it either way, especially with the stuff I did before. And you know, there's all these websites now, I'll put them on the screen if you have something either silly or a big script to translate into Ebonics or Smurfs or Yoda, like Star Wars, just about anything you can imagine. Just have fun with it. You only live once, right? And you deserve to have the laugh. We all deserve to be happy, alright? I don't know. I've been doing that Brooklyn accent for so long. I can't snap out of it. It might be the drink, but I can't stop thinking as a Brooklyn anymore. Is this the end of the world for me? I'm stuck as a Brooklyn who sells pizza on the sides and yells at people on the sidewalks in heavy traffic. I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta get out of here. Yo, they'll never take me alive. That Brooks will never. Oh! Oh! Oh, good gravy, what happened last night? Oh, my head. Alright, guys, I know what you want, alright? That ending with the snowman was really, really underwhelming, and I can't apologize enough. So you know what? I did keep one more translation, just in case things went awry. I won't actually say what it is, I want you guys to figure out for yourself, but I used the lolcat translation, because honestly I just want to get this out of the way, because before it sinks in, this was a really stupid idea, and just read this except from a certain children's book. Here we go. Mr.
and Mrs. Brown first met Paddington on railway platform. Seriously, in fact, that was how him came to have such an unusual name for bear. For Paddington was the name of the station. Seriously. The Browns was them to meet them daughter Judy, who was coming home from school for the holidays. Seriously, it was warm summer day, and the station was crowded with people on them were to the seaside. Trains was humming, loudspeakers blaring, parties running about, shouting on round the belt, and altogether it was so much noise that Mr. Brown, who saw him first, had to tell him wait several times before he understood. Seriously. Bear on Paddington Station. Mrs. Seriously Brown looked at her husband in amazement. Don't be is so silly, honey. There can't bears. Mr. Brown adjusted him glasses. But there is, him insisted, seriously. It's distinctly solid over there near the bicycle rack. It was wearing funny kind of hat. Without waiting for reply, he'd caught hold of his wife's arm and pushed her through the crowd round trolley laden with chocolate and cups of tea, passed through bookstall and their gap in pail of suitcases towards the last property of ease. There you are! Direction of him arm pointed method of out small woofy creature in the shadows, seriously. It seemed to be standing on some kind of suitcase, and round its neck that was faded with some writing on it. Seriously, the suitcase was old and battered, and it said, "Watch weather saying, wanted on voyage." Mrs. Brown clutched at her husband. "Why, honey?" I explained. "It's believed you was right after all. It is bear." I peered at it closely, seriously. It seems like an unusual kind of bear. It was brown in color, rough, dirty brown, and it was most odd-looking hat with him brim, just as Mr. Brown had seeds from the brim. Two large brown eyes stared back at her, saying that something was expected of it. The bear stood up and politely raised its hat, revealing tall black ears. Seriously. "Good afternoon," it said in small, queer voice. Seriously. Good afternoon," repeated Mr. Brown doubtfully. There was a moment of silence. The bear looked at the inquiry seriously. "Is can help you?" Mr. Brown looked rather embarrassed. "Well, no, seriously. As a matter of fact, we was wondering if we could help you."
Oh my god, I don't know which hurts worse, my head or my throat. Wait a second. Reading that just got me thinking. Wasn't there a movie based on a certain bear found at a railway station a few years back, and now it's on Netflix? You know what? Everywhere's closed for New Year's today. I'll go watch it, see how it is. I mean, it can't be so bad, right? Stop looking at my tag! Whoops. Oh, I've broken it. Well, that really was a depressing way to end this. I broke the chair. Can I go through one filming session without having to break stuff? No.